hold onto your seats, because this scandal is about to take you on a roller coaster ride of shock and disbelief. Meghan Markle, yes, the very same Duchess of Sussex, just got a reality check from none other than Hollywood insiders, and it's a public humiliation that no one saw coming. This time, the drama is coming from inside the house. Forget the British tabloids and palace whispers. This one's for her own supposed Hollywood family, and it's going viral. The scene? A promotional video that dropped ahead of the Sundance Film Festival. You'd think a documentary about Girl Scouts would be a feel-good, uplifting tale about women empowering other women. But in this case, it's anything but that for Meghan. The director, Alyssa Namas, a seasoned Hollywood name, drops a video featuring a who's who of Girl Scouts who've made it big: Taylor Swift, Michelle Obama, Sally Ride, and Serena Williams. But wait, where's Meghan? The executive producer of the film, the one who literally attached her name to this project, isn't even mentioned. And to make matters worse, Alyssa seems to forget to drop her name in front of the entire world. Now, we've all seen how celebrities forget to mention things awkward, right? But this wasn't just a casual oversight, this was a deliberate snub. Let's be real, directors don't forget to mention their executive producers, especially not one as high profile as Meghan Markle, who made her Girl Scout background a key part of her brand. So why was she completely erased from the narrative? Is it a PR disaster or just a convenient omission to avoid the truth? Either way, Meghan's Hollywood credibility is taking a massive hit. And it's coming from someone who was supposed to be her biggest ally. The buzz started circulating fast. Hollywood insiders have been whispering about this for days. If Meghan had been involved from the start, fully hands-on, there is no way the director would leave her out of this crucial video. This wasn't just a missed chance to show off the royal connection. It was a cold, calculated move that has everyone questioning just how deeply involved she really was in this project. The timing of this video said everything. Filmed in December, just a month before the Sundance debut, it tells us one thing: Meghan's involvement might have been more afterthought than core creator. Can you even imagine? The director, a seasoned professional, chose to highlight her celebrity connections over the woman who's supposed to be the face of the documentary. What does this say about Meghan's actual role in the production? Did she jump on the project just to cash in on the fame, or was she genuinely invested in telling the story? Either way, this is a major blow to her already fragile Hollywood image. And it gets worse. The next shocker came when the Sundance Festival rolled around and the premiere of Cookie Queens was less of a glamorous red carpet affair and more of a public relations disaster. Meghan and Harry, looking all sorts of regal and ready to shine, made their entrance, and that's where things started to feel, well, awkward. Forget the red carpet smiles and perfectly crafted media moments. The real story was in the tension, the body language, the whispers. Insiders who were there couldn't stop talking about the cold vibes between Meghan and the actual creators of the film. The warmth you'd expect to see between collaborators gone in its place. Forced smiles, stiff postures, and awkward distancing. Now, that's not the kind of energy you want when you're debuting your big Hollywood project. And the worst part? It was also obvious. But wait, before we dive into the cringe-worthy details of their Sundance appearance, let's talk about what was actually supposed to be their triumphant moment. For Meghan and Harry, this was their big shot. They'd been battling to prove that their exit from the royal family didn't mean the end of their public power. They'd sold the world on their Hollywood dream from Netflix to Spotify, but their first real shot to show they could back up all that big talk was Cookie Queens. This documentary about Girl Scout entrepreneurs should have been their crowning moment. It was empowering, it was American, it had that Meghan Markle twist. It was a perfect fit for the Sussex brand. Yet when the film debuted at Sundance, something just didn't click. Body language experts who watched footage from the red carpet began to notice the tension. A few quick shots of the Sussexes with the creative team, and the experts were saying it all. The smiles were forced, the energy was off, and the chemistry non-existent. Now, as the camera rolled and the film began to screen, the uncomfortable reality of the situation became even more evident. Let's talk about those empty seats. This was supposed to be the big moment for Meghan and Harry, the moment that would prove their worth in Hollywood. But when the lights dimmed, there were about 150 seats left vacant in the theater. And this isn't just any screening. This was Sundance. a festival where stars are made, where new films either rise to stardom or crash and burn. So how did this happen? 150 empty seats at a screening backed by two of the most famous faces in the world. Eventually, some waitlisters were ushered in to fill some of the gaps, reducing the vacancies to a mere 60. But that's still embarrassing. Let's break this down. These were not just any empty seats. These were premium, high-priced tickets, some costing up to $6,900. So, why were the very people who paid top dollar to attend Sundance not rushing to see the Sussex's big debut? Because, quite frankly, the buzz around the Sussex brand just isn't what it used to be. Their supposed star power wasn't enough to pull in the crowds at an event they should have dominated. And even worse, the high-profile industry buyers, those all-important executives and distributors, chose not to attend. That's a major red flag. This wasn't just about empty seats, it was about lack of interest. Industry insiders, who should have been eager to see what the Sussexes were offering, were nowhere to be found. That speaks volumes. Their names on the poster didn't fill the room, their A-list status didn't attract buyers, and their supposed global influence couldn't spark excitement. For a couple who've signed millions in deals with Netflix and Spotify, this should have been a no-brainer. Instead, it was a wake-up call to the fact that their Hollywood experiment is in serious trouble. And if the empty seats weren't bad enough, let's talk about what happened when the cameras were rolling during the premiere. Here's the rule in Hollywood: the director always speaks first. It's their film, their vision, and they're the creative genius behind the whole project. But not at this premiere. Meghan Markle, in true Meghan fashion, decided that she would speak first. Let that sink in. The protocol at a premiere, especially one at Sundance, is rock solid. The director goes first, the producers follow. Meghan, however, threw that out the window. She stepped up to the microphone before the director and claimed the spotlight. Now, we're not saying she didn't have a right to speak after all. She was the executive producer, but breaking that protocol? It's a power move that rubbed everyone the wrong way. The audacity to think the rules didn't apply to her was a clear sign of her entitlement. As if that wasn't enough, during the screening, while Alyssa Namaz, the director, was addressing the crowd, Meghan was spotted shifting around in the background, trying to stay in the camera's line of sight. Talk about wanting to be seen even when it's not your time. A producer should be supporting their director, not trying to steal their moment. It was another example of how Meghan seems to constantly seek attention and validation regardless of the situation. And the cherry on top, Meghan's reaction when Alyssa described the documentary as cute. Now, if you're promoting a film about Girl Scout cookies and young entrepreneurs, cute is the perfect descriptor. But Meghan, clearly unhappy with the tone, looked visibly uncomfortable. She didn't want to be associated with something that felt adorable. She wanted it to be prestigious and important, a reflection of the great image she's trying to build in Hollywood. And that discomfort was written all over her face. What's fascinating here is how Meghan couldn't handle a simple description of the film. For someone so committed to their empowered woman persona, her reaction was surprising. It wasn't just a minor moment, it was a glaring signal that Meghan wants to be seen as more than just a former actress turned producer. She wants to be seen as important, but her behavior at this premiere was anything but. And let's not ignore the biggest story of all, the lack of actual interest from distributors. The cold reception from buyers says it all. Netflix, the streaming giant, who signed a multi-million-dollar deal with the Sussexes, passed on acquiring Cookie Queens. Let that sink in. Netflix, who has a first-look agreement with Archwell Productions, looked at the documentary and said no thanks. When the very company that has invested so much in you doesn't want your content, what does that say about your future in the industry? It's not just a failed documentary. It's a complete collapse of their credibility. The reality of the Sussex's Hollywood experiment is slowly unraveling before our eyes. Their brand is failing to deliver, and even their Hollywood partners are starting to pull back. The Cookie Queen's premiere was supposed to show the world that Meghan and Harry were real players in the entertainment industry. Instead, it showcased the exact opposite. Their star power couldn't fill seats. their name couldn't sell a film, and their behavior at the premiere showed that in Hollywood they still have a long way to go. It's one thing to be famous, it's another thing entirely to have genuine value in the industry. Meghan and Harry's Hollywood dream is starting to look more like a nightmare, and this premiere may be the moment that proves their place in Tinseltown isn't guaranteed after all.